Is it time for recess yet? I'm so glad you found time to join us here on the Child Care Director's Chair, where Erica Sacoccio shares her best practices that she's refined through her passion of directing childcare centers over the last 23 years. From parenting interaction, systems to save you time, money, and stress, to profitability. She shares it all from the Child Care Director's Chair.
Hey, it's Erica here, and I've got something super exciting to share with you. If you're in the world of early childhood education, you cannot miss the Early Childhood Empowerment Conference. And I'm not just saying that. Trust me, this is where the magic happens. Over the course of 3 days, we're all about learning, connecting, and reigniting that spark that brought you into the field in the first place. And let me tell you, this conference is packed with goodness. Day one is all about leadership. We've got 5 incredible presenters who will walk you through the business side of running your program. Plus, it's more intimate, a retreat-style day with only 80 administrators, so you'll get tons of face time and an opportunity to connect. And to close out the day, a fun, hilarious comedy show and dinner with Jay Yoder from the Board Teacher Comedy Tour. He graces the stages all over the country. Day 2 is a day full-blown conference with 50 vendors, 14 amazing speakers, plus 2, not 1, but 2 keynote addresses that will leave your head full of fresh ideas. Oh, and did I mention, you can also get a free professional headshot. You can even hop on an ECE podcast and share your expertise with the world. So much fun packed into one day. And then day 3, you get to relax. We're heading over to Urban Sweat, where you can treat yourself however you want. Whether you want to unwind in a Himalayan salt cave, you want to get into a yoga class, or just enjoy a relaxing massage, you will leave totally recharged. You can book your services directly with Rafa and pick exactly what you need. So are you in? Don't miss out 3 days of empowerment, inspiration, and just pure connection with your ECE community. I can't wait to see you there, so let's do this. Links below. See you soon. What if there was a way to unlock your potential as a leader, nurture your growth, and enhance the quality of your work, all while developing a deeper connection with those you lead? Reflective supervision is that powerful tool. It's not just about problem solving, but it's about becoming more self-aware and intentional in your leadership, resulting in a greater effectiveness and a more supportive work environment. And who doesn't want that? You are tuned in to the Child Care Director's Chair podcast, and I'm your host, Erica Sacoccio, and thank you so much for tuning in. So let's talk about, what does reflective supervision even mean? Well, reflective supervision is a method of supervision where the focus shifts from merely evaluating performance to supporting and engaging deep reflection in one's practice, feelings, and emotions. And this type of supervision is centered on the relationship between the supervisor and the supervisee, allowing for open, honest dialogue and self-exploration rather than offering direct solutions. Reflective supervision asks thoughtful questions, and it provides a space for self-reflection, helping an individual make connections between their practice and their personal experiences, which are different for all of us. Ask yourself this question: how often do you create a space for your own self-reflection in your leadership practice? I know this is something I do quite frequently. So here's a little tip that can help you get on your way. Start by setting aside 10 minutes at the end of each day to reflect on your actions and your decisions. And ask yourself these questions. What went well? What could I have done differently? What made a big impact on someone else's life? Was there something someone did that made a big impact on my life or your life? Ask yourself these questions. Now, let's talk a little bit about why reflective supervision is so important. It's such an important tool for personal and professional growth. By engaging in this practice, leaders not only improve their own practice, but they also enhance the learning environment for the children in their care. And leaders who reflect on their own actions, their own values, and experiences can build stronger, more empathetic relationships with their teams. And I think that's what everybody's looking for now. Everyone is looking for connection. We lost so much of that during COVID, and that was such a shift for all of us. When you practice in fostering safe spaces where educators can process difficult emotions, reflect on their teaching practices, and grow in their roles, you really grow strong leaders. Ask yourself this: are you creating an environment where your team feels safe to reflect and share their challenges? And if you're not, here are some tips. One, you want to lead by example. So share your reflections with your team. Talk about transparency and humility, creating an open and supportive culture where they feel that they can be comfortable doing the same. I certainly let my folks know I am not perfect and I do not know all the answers. And I think there's just some humility that happens when you say, I really messed up yesterday when we were talking about XYZ. I wish I could have done better to help you with that challenge. Let's see if we can come together, talk about it, and see if we can find out, how we can make it better for you. I feel like I failed you. When you say those types of words to your team, they know that you are genuine. How we reflect in our practice enhances our emotional intelligence and our leadership skills. And when leaders engage in reflective supervision, they're developing that emotional intelligence, or the EQ, and the ability to understand and manage their own emotions, as well as empathize with the emotions of others. And high EQ in leadership is linked to improved communication, stronger team cohesiveness, and better conflict resolution. Reflective practice helps leaders become more self-aware, enabling them to make decisions that are not only rational, but also emotionally attuned to the needs of those they lead. Sometimes I ask myself questions about my impact and my role in leadership. And I know a lot about leadership, but I really continue to make sure I push myself to learn more and understand that as I come in contact with new staff members, I may not know how best to lead them. So ask yourself these questions. How often do you take time to reflect on your emotional responses, and how are they impacting your leadership? I would say a quick tip for that was make a habit of pausing before reacting to stressful situations. Can you think about a time that you wish you had paused before you open your mouth? I know I have. But this brief moment of reflection can help you respond with a greater emotional intelligence. And the impact of reflective supervision on teacher development. When you are a reflective supervisor, it has a direct impact on your teacher's development. It encourages teachers to reflect on their practice. It helps them identify their areas of growth, improve their teaching strategies, and strengthen their understanding of child development. It is this reflective practice that can always help increase teachers' job satisfaction as they feel valued and supported in their professional journey. For leaders, fostering an environment of reflective practice empowers your educators to take ownership of their professional growth, resulting in a more engaged and effective teams. Ask yourself this: how can you support your team in reflecting in their own practice to ensure that they have continued growth? One way you can assist with this is set aside time during team meetings for reflection and encouragement for your educators. Share their successes and their challenges. This creates a collaborative and growth-focused atmosphere. Many times we use meetings as an opportunity to go down a to-do list, a list of things they didn't do, compliances, or just, new things that are being implemented in your state. They usually tend to be informational instead of reflective. And you can get a lot of information from reflective practices for sure, but go into it with the intention of a better understanding of each other. Engaging in reflective supervision doesn't just improve the practice of those you lead, it also enhances your own leadership skills. You see, when you regularly reflect on your approach as a leader, you can better understand the strengths and areas for improvement. And it helps you to respond to challenges with clarity, with confidence, ensuring that you lead with empathy and insight. Reflective supervision allows you to align your leadership with your values, resulting in a more authentic and effective leadership style. It also creates a culture where feedback is welcomed and growth is valued, making you more approachable and supportive leader. Ask yourself this: how can I integrate reflective practice into my leadership style to become more effective? And give yourself a little bit of time. And as you listen to this episode, many times you might be walking or on a treadmill or out driving the car, so you might not have a journal next to you. So maybe you might have to listen to this episode more than once. I feel like this episode, especially when we talk about reflection, is one that you should have a quiet space, maybe have a journal or a notebook where you can ask yourself these questions and think about how you want to implement them. A quick tip I would say is, schedule a weekly reflection session with yourself or a trusted colleague to discuss leadership challenges and identify what areas you can improve. I know many of the folks that I coach, we do this on a weekly basis, and it has really helped many people improve their practices, or at least be aware of where they need to work on. You see, reflective supervision not only improves individual practices, but it also strengthens relationships between leaders and their teams. And I want the best relationships I can have with my team members. You see, I understand that my team leaders help me run my business. I understand that my teams help educate children in my community. And when leaders engage in reflection and share their insights, it encourages open communication and mutual respect. By discussing challenges and successes openly, leaders build trust. They show that they're vulnerable, which fosters a more connected and supportive team culture. And in this environment, team members feel heard, they feel valued, they feel connected. And when that happens, they're really happy about their job and they feel they have a part of a bigger picture. And that helps lead to overall job satisfaction and that little thing called staff retention. So ask yourself another question. Am I actively building trust with my team through open communication and reflection? And if you're not, that's okay. Take the first step. Make time for regular one-on-one meetings with your team where they can reflect on their experiences and they can offer guidance and support. And you want this to be part of your culture. And one of the greatest benefits of reflective supervision is its role of cultivating a culture of continuous improvement. When reflection is integrated into everyday practice, it encourages a growth mindset across your entire team. Leaders who engage in reflective supervision, they value that ongoing learning and self-awareness. And it's inspiring. It inspires you and your teams. As you embrace these practices, the culture of reflection and improvement leads to better outcomes for both educators and children. And everyone works together to grow and evolve in their roles. So ask yourself, how can you encourage your team to adapt reflective practices and embrace that culture of continuous improvement? Incorporate reflection into team routines, whether it's a regular debrief, self-assessments, peer feedback sessions. All of these things together build a strong culture for shared learning. Leaders often encourage emotionally charged situations that require empathy and a thoughtful approach. And reflective supervision provides an opportunity to process those emotions. You can offer guidance to team members when they're facing challenges. By providing emotional and professional support, leaders can help educators navigate the complexities of their work while remaining grounded in their practices. The support enables educators to feel more confident, empowered, and resilient in their roles. Ultimately, that benefits the children in their care. So the last question of today that I'll ask you to ask yourself is, how can I better support my team emotionally and professionally through reflective supervision? I would say to you, offer your team members a safe space to discuss emotional challenges. We know mental health right now in our field is something that needs to be addressed. We need to encourage our staff to seek reflective support during difficult times. Let them know they're not alone. Regular emotional check-ins are key to maintaining a healthy and resilient team. Now, there's one little caveat I want to say at the end of this, is as you are being reflective and taking care of the mental health and stability of your team, make sure you take care of yourself as well. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And again, we encourage you to be part of our community. There are so many wonderful educators in our leadership group. We have a private little Facebook group, small, not thousands of people. We have a few hundred people who are actively engaged, who are amazing at supporting each other. So if you haven't traveled on over to our Facebook page at the Child Care Directors Chair, go to our leadership group and join the group. That's it for today. Remember, it's the small details that make a big difference on the success of your childcare business. Have a great day.
Well, all the cute little kiddos have been picked up and it's time to go home. And that'll do it for another episode of the Child Care Director's Chair. Please leave a review so Erica knows the information is helping you to manage and improve your childcare centers. Remember to subscribe to get the latest episode from Erica's Child Care Director's Chair.